the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners, March 10th, 2025, 6 p.m. meeting. Please silence your cell phones and other electronic devices. Please stand with us while Mr. Snelson gives the invocation and the pledge to the flag.
Dear Lord, thank you for letting us gather here tonight, Lord. Thank you for letting the commissioners do the business of this county, Lord, representing us as our citizens, Lord. Just lead and guide and direct them, Lord. Take them out of this place. Just uplift them in your word, Lord. I just thank you for what you've done in my life, Lord. In gracious Son's name, Jesus, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first item is to adopt the agenda. Do we have any changes, additions, or subtractions?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone from the board like to make a motion? So moved.
Second.
All in favor? All right. Presentations today,
No.
finance report.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, in front of you at the bank balance. It was about 4 o'clock today. All finances are holding pretty good. The LGIP, I will note out in general fund, brought in $40,000 of interest at about a 4-point-something yield. So and putting those investment funds are bringing in a good return on investment. Your second page is your SPOS and T-SPOS commitments. I'd just like to point out, you'll never see these two match on your cash in bank. This is actually the ledger in hand with checks that have been cut. Usually checks are cut on the day that we have the meeting, so you'll never see cash in the bank match your front sheet, but LGIP will match. Out of your SPOS, you have about $607,000 to spend today. T-SPOS, a little over $350,000, and the LRA is all allocated out in the 2024 LMIG project, or it should be 25 LMIG, I'm sorry.
That's good. We're building that back up pretty quick. The
Yes, sir.
T-SPOS, yes.
And we're still putting gravel on the road, about 60, 70,000 a month.
Good.
So I told Barry he can, about a third of what comes in, if he needs a little more, just let me know, but we allocate about 60, 70,000 for gravel every month.
Okay. Any questions about the finance report? Okay. Do we have any department heads reporting today?
Good evening, everyone. Last week, Joel and I were in Savannah at our Code Enforcement Officers Conference. We have that twice a year. I just want to let you know that the state of Georgia's code enforcement officers, whether you guys are aware of this or not, has grown significantly over the last, I'd say 5 years even. But in Savannah this past week, we had 450 code enforcement officers there taking training, from first-time officers to officers that's been there for several years. Our Senate has now passed a bill, House Bill 483, which will protect us code officers when we're out there on properties. We've had several who've gotten injured in the line of duty, and we've even had 4 that have been shot and killed in line of duty, because most officers don't wear vests. We're code officers, we're not police officers. But they have now passed a House bill to protect us if we were to get killed in the line of duty, because before there was no way of protecting our families later. But I just wanted to give you an update on that, because I don't think you guys probably were aware of the significance and what all the officers do out there.
No, not over that many for sure.
Yeah, and we're growing. We actually had a waiting list. We had to cap them out at 450 this year. So there's a lot of training. We only meet twice a year, once a week, twice a year. And it takes 3 years to get your level 1 training, another 2.5 to get your level 2 training, and it then takes another 3 years to get your level 3. I'm now an instructor there. So I instruct for UGA and some of the classes. So it takes a lot of training to know all the laws and things change. And there's a lot of, I guess, interneting with each other. Yes. Because ordinances, yes, networking, that's it. So, different ordinances, different forms, so it's pretty interesting. So I just want to let you guys know that.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman, just for the recreation, 8U boys, the 10U girls, and 14U boys competed at state. Unfortunately, all three did not advance past the first round, I believe. And they did receive confirmation that the Hawks donation of basketball equipment, it's a pretty intensive lift. I'll be sending that out to all the board members so they can see what the Hawks are donating to Meriwether County. So they did get that grant from the Hawks.
And now we have a list of what they are going to get.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. We need to make sure we get that publicized so that the citizens across the county can know.
Yes, sir, we'll put it out on
That's pretty good.
our Facebook
program.
page and it.
Yeah,
That's all for department heads.
okay. Any citizen comment?
No, not tonight.
Okay. We have the minutes from the February 25th, 2025 regular meeting at 6 p.m. Just everyone's had a chance to review.
Well, on the, I see one thing, that just misspelling here on page 5. It says Quaker's Farm is Quakers, Quercus.
I'll fix that, page 5.
About middle of the way.
Yeah.
Any other changes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes, February 25th, 2025.
Okay. Have a motion, need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I abstain.
Passes. No public hearing listed, no appointments listed. Under unfinished business, we have confirmation of letter and lease provided to the town of Roanoke.
Commissioners, last Monday on March 3rd, staff along with Vice Chairman Collins, excuse me, Commissioner Snelson attended a town council meeting at the town of Roanoke. We presented the town with the proposed listing of 3 options for the fire station located within the town limits attached as the packet presented to the council. I won't read the whole thing, but it's basically giving them 3 options. Enter into the presented lease agreement for a term of 44 years. A purchase option to purchase the fire station improvements at its current fair market value. Once purchase is successful, the town will be responsible for staffing at the station. An alternative, Meriwether County and the town of Roanoke will need to enter into an intergovernmental agreement if they wish for the county to continue staffing the station. The town will still be covered by fire services as described in the service delivery plan. Relocation, if the town of Roanoke declines both of the above options, Meriwether County will proceed with relocating the fire station out of the town. The town will still be covered by fire services as described in the service delivery plan. This option could cause the town's ISO rating to increase, causing residents' insurance rates to increase. They have 45 days from March 3rd, 2025 to communicate their decision to the county.
Okay. Any initial feedback from that meeting at the meeting, or any indication of?
There was some back and forth on the language in here on the page 22. They had an issue with the term of the lease shall run for a period of 44 years from the date of execution unless the lease is terminated at an earlier date by mutual consent of both parties. They do not want the mutual consent in there. And then number 2, under the county conveys to the town, in the event the county fails to construct the fire department EMS facility or the facility no longer serves as a fire department EMS facility in the future, the lease shall terminate and property shall revert to the town. They would like to take out the construction and maintenance, any of that, because it's already built. That's basic feedback back and forth. And they want an automatic renewal every 4 years or 2 years.
After the 44?
That, on their end, they want a 2 or 4 year renewal on their end.
They don't want to accept the
They
44.
don't-
They
they don't
want
accept
For
44.
them is the 44, so. we can talk
So
about
essentially when it
that
runs
after
into it, it just says mutually, if it's less than 44, we mutually have to agree. Yeah, it was a back and forth for about an hour discussion on those 2 topics right there.
I think in any type of IGA, it needs to be mutual.
Great, that's what I was trying to
Especially
relay
two
back to their
government
attorneys
entities, yeah.
and council that, it's essentially the same thing when you look at, if you're gonna do a 2 year auto renewal, 44 is the
Yeah,
same.
I mean, because even though those are Lone Oak citizens, they're still Meriwether County citizens. So before we do a change, it disrupts their service or their ratings for insurance. It needs to be a mutual agreement, like you're saying, because they're still county citizens as well as town citizens.
Correct. And it's in there that it could affect their ISO rating depending on how many miles the fire station is located outside of town. I believe it's 5.
5 or more.
5 or more, it would change their ISO from a 6 to a 10, essentially doubling their homeowner's insurance. And I expressed to the council in Lone Oak that the county does not wish to move that fire station. We would like for it to stay in the town of Lone Oak. It serves the purpose of the town itself and the citizens of Meriwether County.
So when we were doing the fire district originally, we went out to all cities and towns, and they either agreed to be on board with it or not. Manchester's the only one that chose not to. So with Lone Oak moving forward and being in agreement with this fire process, I don't think they have much of a choice. Because they
They said
agreed,
that
they went
they're-
into
They
this.
said that now their newer county attorney is advising them that they can't get into an agreement that binds their council more than their term. So I checked into it with GMA, that's monetarily. So if they were in like a financial agreement with us, but for our services and a building, that's not included. So that's where she is misleading her. And the citizens that were there were in favor of them just signing the lease and being done. The citizens were asking them that night to go ahead and sign it.
That misleading happens often.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was communicated to them numerous times by myself.
Intergovernmental agreement for 50 years.
Right.
Well, this is 44 because we spent 6 years
Right, trying to get this
I
done.
know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
of that I'm positive.
Yeah. Okay.
So they asked when the next meeting was. I told them tonight if they wanted to offer some changes, I have it in my hand, I will present it, but I've received nothing before this meeting. So I don't know where they're leaning one way or another. But we did 45 days because their next meeting is the first Monday of March, same as ours, April 7th.
April.
April, yes.
It's the first Monday of
Is it
March.
It's
First
good.
Monday.
Okay,
She got it.
I got it.
Or
I'm clear.
Are you sure?
I
Yes.
saw a copy of their lease and I read it to
Difference
say
60 to
that,
60.
they keep saying it's automatic renewal, but the way I read it, it says at the end of the lease, 6 months prior to the end of the lease can be terminated by either party. So is that automatic renewal?
But what,
that just gives you
the
an
automatic, well, the problem with mutual termination is they get a fire station. I mean, that's the whole, that's why I think they don't want mutual termination, just mean automatic renewal typically says this contract will expire on X day and will automatically renew the next day for successive however many year periods, 1 year periods, for example, unless one side terminates.
Right. So even though it is automatic renewal,
That
they
gives
can
them an out.
terminate it the first in a year and a half.
That's right. That's the problem.
We even discussed if we were to purchase the land from them, and they kept telling us that was prime real estate, that they could sell it for a lot. And we told them not with a fire station on it. And so that's why it makes I would not take out mutual consent at all, because it looks like they're looking for an out because they want to sell the property. Because, and I went back through 2 years worth of their minutes and read it, and anytime the fire station's mentioned, it's that the county, one time they even mentioned the county wasn't upholding the lease agreement they signed on the fire station, but I can't find where they ever said they signed it, other than they referenced signing it in April of 2023.
The construction of that building was between $400,000 and $600,000. So we can't just give it up.
Nope.
it was a lengthy hour and a half, 2 hour discussion. It was, all these points were illustrated back and forth to their council numerous times. And they were advised by their attorney to go a different route.
So there's nothing for this board to do other than wait until the 45 days.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Any other discussion about that? Move on to item 2 is an update on Brown Gilbert Road.
Commissioners, just an update on Brown Gilbert Road. I did get the survey from Nathan from Wild Management, or DNR. Their own survey that their surveyor done records on here, public road, unopened and not maintained, points 4 through 7 along edge of said road. This is something we need to have legal look at, because unopened and not maintained would refer to the county abandoning that road, in my opinion, but I'm no lawyer. We need to have legal look into this more. This is just an update of what we found based off of the survey that Mr. Nathan brought in last time.
Okay.
Not me, Nate.
No, it's
Yeah.
Nathan for a while,
Just making sure, guys.
DNR. Nathan,
Klaus.
I'm not
Klaus.
giving y'all something to say I don't know
No,
what it means.
this is something that we need to have our attorneys look into to see, because unopened and not maintained, to me, is the county abandoned that road.
Okay. Any other updates on that or conversation about it from the board? Okay, new business, item 1 is approval of emergency repairs at the Meriwether County Jail.
Commissioners, the plumbing lines at the back of the jail need to be relined, and we thought it was relined until we had a plumber come out. It's due to the deterioration of the cast iron pipes beneath the concrete. From the plumber that came out, it's from Blue Frog. They gave us an estimate about $8,100, I believe. They're going to have to tear up the concrete. They estimate a 6x6x4 slab that they would have to cut into. That's the width of the area, report, replace the metal piping. There's at least one P-trap that's completely destroyed, and there could be more once they get under there. This is something that needs to be taken care of and needs to be taken care of right away. That's why it's emergency repair. We can bypass our procurement guidelines because section 2.83 of our code of ordinance says due to health or welfare of humans or beings or facilities, we can bypass our procurement guidelines.
And you have an estimate or quote from them right now for $8,100.
For Blue Frog, just to replace the pipe that they identified on. They say it could be more when they get under there. I mean, we could be looking
Are
at
they
15.
gonna replace the pipe or just put this epoxy liner in
It's,
there?
when they scoped it, they said the epoxy liner would not work.
Okay.
The P-trap is just so busted. We were hoping they'd go in there with that liner and it would solve everything, but the P-trap is shattered. At least one, it could be possibly two.
So the $8,100 is not gonna be enough, so we need a not to exceed for our approval. How much are we looking at?
Did they give a max?
They did not, because until they bust up the concrete, they can't tell what needs all to be replaced.
So we're looking at 8,000 now to do this amount of work,
Correct.
but not until they get in there.
And the 8,000 covers them repouring the concrete and leveling back out. So,
I'd say we should max it at 20 to 25 tops.
yeah, I was gonna say around 25 would be my
Right.
recommendation.
So, anybody like to make a motion on that?
I'll make a motion not to exceed 25,000.
And staff will recommend SPOS funding for it.
Okay, using SPOS money.
Second.
All right, all in favor? All right, that motion passes.
Thank you, Commissioners. We'll get someone out there right away to get that taken care of.
Item 2 is consideration of Surface Maintenance LLC to do road maintenance on Maffett's Pond Road and Gunter Road.
Commissioner, these are two proposals by Service Maintenance LLC for repair on Mayfitts Pond Road and Gunner Road as identified by Public Works. Subcontracting these repairs will allow Public Works to focus on other roads within the county. If these services provided meet county standards, Service Maintenance LLC could serve as an alternative vendor to support Public Works in maintaining other county roads. This is brought to the board due to the amount being over $5,000 and the funding source would be T-SPLOS. It's a restricted fund that requires board approval. You should have the two quotes in front of you. Moffitt's Pond Road is just shy of 7,000 and
Gunner.
Gunner is almost 7,500.
So that's 14,400, 14,500 total.
Do we have any other quotes?
No, sir, I couldn't find anyone else that could provide these services that were outlined in the repairs and maintenance scope of work. And this funding will be T-SPLOS. at the
I'm
board.
gonna make a motion that we table it because there is need for further discussion.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion and a second, all in favor? We'll table this to the next meeting,
Going back to that.
Tuesday,
one-
March 25th, 6 p.m.
Going back to that a minute, like Mappers Pond Road, how long is it?
It should say in the
Does it
quote.
tell you?
No, it doesn't tell you.
Mileage?
If it does, it's too small for me to read.
Like maybe like a mile and a half, mile and a quarter.
It's not that long.
Like 2,424 feet, so half a mile.
Yeah.
roughly.
Roughly half a mile.
So that-
Mhm.
Says quantity in the rate, so.
Okay, that's on, that's on the other road, right?
Yeah,
That's
that's
the, I
the
don't see that for Moffett, Maffett, whatever.
Let me see if I can see it on my camera.
I don't think it's as long as Gunner Road.
I can have it by the next meeting, find exactly how many miles that is.
Alrighty. Item number 3 is approval to purchase additional totes of BAM product for patching.
Commissioners, Patcher is fully operational and Public Works is satisfied with the quality of the product. They're currently using that BAM product. They had about 410 gallons remaining as of last week at an initial purchase. Staff is requesting approval to purchase 2 to 3 additional totes, each containing 275 gallons. It's about 3,100 a tote. For 2 totes with shipping, the freight is $5.25. So with 2 totes, you're looking at $6,734.50. 3 totes is $9,839.25. With the new Public Works Director beginning on March 24th, staff recommends purchasing no more than the 3 totes and let the Public Works Director evaluate it after that. But
Well, when we first purchased this, I know that the price per tote was so much, and then it was like $1,900 shipping. So, to me, the more up to 4 totes you buy, you get less per tote shipping.
correct.
If you buy 2, you're gonna pay $900 per tote shipping.
That's what he's saying, is that no more than 3 right now,
Yeah.
to keep them working and let the new Public Works Director then decide how he wants to attack these going forward.
What was the initial purchase?
Initial purchase was 4 totes. They came out and did the cleaning of the
Right.
Patcher free
Right.
and then the training for free. That was right around 13,000.
And when was that purchase made? I'm just trying to figure out if we have 410.
January.
That's almost 2.
There's about 1.5 totes left.
Yeah.
We voted in November, I think, on that, so they got
It was
the,
around end of January, they were on site. So about the first week of February, they were out patching. So it was a little over a month. And from my understanding, they've been hitting it pretty hard.
Do we know what the shipping would be?
525,
525?
correct. For 2 totes or 3 totes.
The shipping's $5.25.
525 for each one, 2 or 3. He just sent me back the number of the freight. He didn't give me a physical quote, but told me it was 3,100, 0475 a tote. Then he compared the cost of a tanker, because we were talking about, the silo, if we would give it cleaned, they would clean it free of charge, but to get a full trailer for the silo would be $62,403. And a full trailer of 18 totes would cost $58,285.50.
what we need to understand the difference there is what is the shelf life of it in the silo?
That's what we
versus
need.
in the tote, because if we can buy a trailer of totes and it could go bad before we use them all in that silo, it still may be usable.
Correct. From my understanding, it needs to be around 60 degrees, and in the silo, they can keep it maintained at 60 degrees.
Well, I went out there and talked to them that day when they first was showing it to them, and that guy told me that a tote fills that tank on the machine up, and he said usually it lasts 2 months. The machine full lasts 2 months, so we already had 4 totes, so.
Well, that may be another county's road, not ours.
Yeah. Well, and
Potholes a little more
and
frequent.
I don't know whether the machine, you can adjust the machine to put out more of the tar or less of the tar with the gravel. I don't know if it, if that could be a case or what, but.
Like that. Barry's super impressed with the product. And I think the citizens that have been reaching out to the commissioners are really pleased with the product, and they're hitting them as they come in as quick as they can. I just hate to see them run out and then
Yeah,
we're
we
dead
don't
in the
want
water
to
for a
run
month.
I'm gonna make a motion, we buy 3 totes.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
And where does
What's
the
that
ship
paid
here
out
from?
of?
That come on.
I think Texas, they're out of Dallas, Georgia. It'd be T-Splosh.
Okay.
I think the company itself is out of Texas. That's a new product that they're bringing over to the East Coast.
So that's where the freight's coming from, Texas to here.
Correct.
Okay, item 4, discussion on releasing the agenda packet.
Commissioners, during the last regular meeting, Commissioner Snelson, during their comments, asked to have the agenda as a discussion and having the commissioners' packet available to the public on the day of the meeting. This will be a topic for the commissioners that we'll need to discuss and make a decision on.
So going to the training I've been going to and talking to a lot of the commissioners, a vast majority of counties put it like where they put the agenda on their website a day or so before, they put their commissioner packet, just the public, that would be considered open records anyway. Put that online so that their citizens have full transparency about what's gonna be discussed that night. It's on them to print it or look at it or not, whichever. But I would like to ask our board to put that on there for our citizens as well, just to show the transparency, and that way they can see what we're discussing.
I agree, and I understand the transparency part. Here's my concern. Over the years, we've had some meetings that are rather legally extensive in their content. For instance, the granite quarry that came before us. There is information that does not need to be released to the public until after full presentations have been made by all parties. There are things in certain applications throughout the county that would have to be redacted. So my concern is if we release things that are there for open records, and there is an open record law in place for a reason, and that is for citizens to be able to request that. But what that does is it allows our staff at that point to redact or mark out things that they don't need to see, things we don't need to see, such as social security numbers, depending on applications, depending on financials and things like that, until something is voted on. Another point is an agenda is not an agenda until we vote on it at the meeting. So it's a packet, but it is not the official agenda until we pass that agenda in our meeting. And if we put something out there and somebody comes before us during the meeting and wants to withdraw an application, or they want to withdraw for a certain reason, then we have to go in and do it. And now the packet that's out in public is not the actual packet of the commissioners. So our staff would have to spend extra time going through to prepare a special packet and do redactions on certain information before it could be posted online, because those redaction laws are there too. If somebody wants to do an open record request, then it doesn't cost all the taxpayers of the county for that person. That person provides the reason why they want it, they pay for it, and they pay for the additional staff time. That's my concerns of it. I think there's a lot more to it than just saying, here, y'all can have everything to it, because there are certain things that come before us that do not need to be released until all sides and all parties have had an opportunity.
So I guess there's something to be said for maybe the front page of this agenda where here's the items we'll discuss, but you're concerned if I'm wrong.
Yeah, the packet of
The packet
information.
of all the information
Right.
shouldn't necessarily be there, but here are the items we're going to discuss.
Right, I mean, the public they have a right to it, but not until we close it or make a decision and it becomes an actual agenda until we vote on it. If they have it prior to that, then they may have misinformation because something may have changed between that time. So,
Well, that's why I was saying, if we post it like this morning, say 12 o'clock today, this information, I mean, in the last year that I pulled these back up, there hasn't been anything that had any of that information in it. So that's not a commonplace. I checked into other counties and they were posted just that day, like the PDF of what we're getting that doesn't have socials and stuff like that. So if something changed at the last minute, they wouldn't have that there was an addition to it. But I think the basic information that we get, I mean, I don't know, when I spoke before, I don't think that there's much information legally. Do you see that there's much in there that it would cause a conflict, like?
It just depends on what,
Right.
I mean, there's not a
But the
standard
basic
answer.
packets that we're getting, I mean,
It's just gonna depend on, I mean, there's not a one, I mean, you might get something that's got a whole bunch, you might get one that's got nothing in it. You
Right.
can't answer that question.
and I should have made myself clear, because it's not always that we have that. There are instances that there are certain things that come before us. So if this board does decide to move forward and approve this, I think we have to be extremely careful in how we word this, because if there is something that comes up that we cannot release at that moment, because it could be a legal situation, then that puts more work back on the office staff here to have to try and remember not to send that out, because now we have passed something saying release everything, and then a certain situation comes up, and it could be a legal situation for us if we release information too soon.
Is the agenda online?
Yes.
Not the packet, the agenda's online
Yes.
prior to the meeting, so they can
Yes.
see what we're doing if they want to come and attend or not, correct?
Correct. And then
Just not the whole packet.
if we amend the agenda during the meeting, then I take the one that was posted down and I replace it with the amended agenda after the meeting.
So today, the
So if you'd
public can
admit-
see the agenda that we were gonna go over.
Yeah, this.
They can
Right,
see
the first
the
two
agenda,
pages.
yes. So if
This
you
is published on
change,
Fridays.
I was speaking more, like, when I was coming to the meetings as a citizen, the meetings, sometimes you can't hear as well out there as you can here. And it will be nice to know the numbers that you're looking at. So if I wanted to print them from home and go through and read, hey, there's gonna be 2 proposals from these companies, and I had thoughts on it, then I could prepare those instead of getting here and then trying to, I might wanna speak in favor of somebody asking for a permit, or to know more about it, to be for or against something. And I just know that that seems to be very common in the other counties. They seem to be doing it,
So it seems like
and that's why I'm interested.
it's already there to be done.
Just the agenda, not just the one-page thing, not the,
the whole entire packet that you get is not online.
right.
Right, I don't understand why we would need that in everyone's hands before the
Right.
meeting.
And a lot of times with public hearings and things like that, there are things that we're not even presented with until it comes before us in that public hearing for us to make a decision on. So I really, and I agree, I think we need to put something out there, Jennifer, but I don't know if this is the right way, because if it's a public hearing and it comes before us and all the presentations and the fors and against come here, we have to make a decision. I think what we're going to create is probably 500,000 questions that may not really pertain to something that we are responsible to talking to our constituents about. I guess I've done it for so long now that I worry about legalities of things that could happen, because I've seen so many different types of extensive meetings.
I agree with you too, what you're talking about and the way he's pointed out, but if you had it out at 12 o'clock today and there was a public hearing to rezone this piece of property or do something with this piece of property, no one's got time to run down and look at all that and get here at 6 o'clock. So
Well, that would be on them if they knew there was a public hearing and they wanted to print. That's why I'm not asking to print it and put it out front, but that it would be up to the citizens who want to be involved to help citizen involvement in our community by them knowing what's going on, and then they don't feel like we're sitting here trying to talk quietly.
I have had people ask me over the last couple of years, it'd be nice if we knew what all y'all was gonna be
Right.
doing that night, you know, and so forth, so we can, if we wanna take time to be there, and then you hear people go, I didn't know y'all was discussing that, so
Right,
I
because
don't know
the
what the
agenda-
actual answer
the
is to that,
agenda
but I
seems
do
more
agree
vague.
with being transparent, I just don't know
It
what's the
seems
best way
more
to.
vague in general, and that's why I was
Yeah.
asking.
Because if
Because I
somebody,
don't know why asking
if
that.
somebody retracts right before a meeting to go into a public hearing for a certain type of licensing or something like that, and they decide, no, I don't want this, I'm not gonna do this, I don't want the public to have my information, well, then we've already put it out there, and it's really not even an actual legal agenda until it comes before us and we vote to pass that agenda before us.
But that's already posted online for somebody to see with the
But
same
not the
parcel
packet.
information.
Yeah, not the packet though.
But the information, if they were coming up, would already have been online anyway for somebody to just say, hey, this person, they're wanting to sell some Kubota lawnmowers. You know?
If it was coming for us tonight for a hearing, and someone was to retract it, the zoning, the posting and all that would have already been out for how many days and so forth?
Two to 4 weeks.
All right, so even if somebody was doing a liquor license or a business license or whatever it may be, all that would have already been advertised in the paper, posted on the road. And then if they came in tonight and decided they didn't want to do it and retract it, all that's already printed
The
on
information's already
county
out.
records, correct?
But
I don't
such
have
things
that.
as the granite quarry and things like that, that wasn't.
Yeah, there's.
'Cause there's
I agree.
situations-
There's
Right.
certain things that would definitely, you know, have to be questionable on. But
That's
I'm
what-
talking about the average everyday life of what we do at this board and
Well, it's on
represent
the
this.
agendas and it's in the papers, yes, but what she's wanting is the full packets, and those are not.
No, what I'm saying is, once they put it in the you put it in the paper and they posted it, and I go down the road and saw it, I can come over to your office and ask for open records on what they're applying
You
for.
would go before, yes, you go before Allison for the open record.
Right, that's what I'm saying,
Open
but it
records,
would be
And it has to
available.
be redacted, yes.
If I had it, because sometimes I don't have it.
And the redactions have to be
And
there.
redactions, yes, have to be made.
Okay.
But sometimes Allison may not have it yet over here
Right.
in the office. So then,
I'm just trying to clarify my mind, the whole scenario.
and that's why I'm not asking for it to be posted weeks in advance, just the day of the meeting, sometime before noon, that way if a citizen sees there's something and they want to pull it up and read over it and say, hey, this looks like a meeting I do need to attend tonight. That's all.
But if we're gonna have a public hearing with such and such, it'd be listed on the agenda, right?
I guess I shouldn't have said that. Let's just take the public hearing out of it. There's a whole legal
Well, I mean,
situation that could have.
The rock quarry, if we're
Right,
gonna talk on the rock quarry, it's under new business.
right, but it's under there, yeah, posted.
I mean, it's
But there
showing
are
what
some
we're gonna talk
things that
about.
could cause us and the citizens of this county to get into a legal situation is what I'm worried about.
So it sounds like we need to have more discussion as a board to decide what we really want to do here.
So I make a motion to table till next meeting?
Got a motion, we have a second? Is that a second? Okay, got a motion and a second, all in favor? All opposed? Okay, motion passes. Item 5, discussion of reopening a portion of Meadows Boone Road.
Commissioner, staff was approached by a representative of Crawford Grading regarding the reopening of a portion of Meadows Boone Road. After research, the citizen had come in before the board on June 8th of 2005, requesting the board to allow him to put a gate across the road. At that time, the attorney advised the citizen he would need to come back in a public hearing to allow the road to be closed. Staff could not locate records of a public hearing nor confirmation that the road was ever officially closed. However, a gate was installed, effectively closing the road to traffic. Crawford Grading has offered to get the road back into operable shape, then asked the board to take back over maintenance. Staff recommends approval of the county to take back over maintenance of this portion of Meadows Boone Road.
How do we have a road that's been closed for 20 years? We've been nothing before this board about it, nobody's concerned about it, but now we need to put it back on and assume responsibility for maintaining it. What's in that road, on that road, at the end of that road, who has interest in it?
Yeah.
Crawford Grading has purchased, I guess, the last bit of that road, and they are, looks like wants to do a subdivision back there. Everything's in Meriwether County. It was closed at one time. Matthew Brown has rode out there with me myself, and I think he's more familiar with it. He's researched a little bit more than I have.
So Crawford wants to make a subdivision?
So
It
it was
looks like
timber
it.
property. It was leased out. The gentleman that came in on whatever date that was, he read, came in, was complaining about people dumping trash out on the property. He asked the board, legal said, we gotta go through public hearing and close the road. I don't know how they ended up getting a gate across the road and nobody ever said anything, but they did. The road, if it was completely open, goes from Luthersville Road, so Meadows Boone starts on Luthersville Road and comes back out on Strickland Town Road. Part of it crosses into Coweta County in 2 places. This part is completely in Meriwether County. Crawford, I don't think they're wanting to do a subdivision. I think they're just wanting to put some houses and stuff out there. They bought that whole piece of property now. When John and I rode out there, they've got kind of a makeshift road for their equipment coming in and out, but they want to, basically it's a dirt road. They just want to make it back into a passable, normal dirt road. It goes down to a creek. I think the culvert at the creek is washed out. They're not wanting to cross that creek. They're just kind of wanting to do a roundabout in that area.
Right now, yeah. That's where we're going with this.
Yeah, so, or I say a cul-de-sac, not a roundabout, cul-de-sac down around the creek. So they said they'll go in and do all the work to get the road back into usable shape. But then they just want the county to start maintaining it again once that.
Up to the washed out culvert.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Now, where that creek is and where it crosses over, there's really no need for it to ever be fixed. And I've got it pulled up. I can show y'all on the map. I've got it.
We have no record of the county ever closing the road, deeding that property back to whoever. What if we just tell them, the last 20 years, nobody needed to approach this board for anything? If we officially close it and deed them that road property back, then they can do what they want to do. They can make a road, make a subdivision, pave it, whatever they want to do.
As long as it's illegal.
Yeah, we need to look into the records to see, well, technically, when you close the road, that's what happens, it's half and half. You know?
Right, so, I mean, but you said initially, right, there's no record that we ever as a board.
No record that we can
closed that
find.
road.
But this states in here that the board voted on moving forward with a public hearing to discuss the possibility of abandoning the road, but I don't see any documentation of that hearing.
They
They
never,
never voted to hold the public hearing.
Okay.
And then it was never brought up again after that meeting.
I mean, it was, a lot of times, especially
where
rural
it's
county, we
closed.
find they just no record of it.
So the map you got pulled up there shows the road going down there where it highlights a different, looks like an orange color to me from here.
Yeah, so-
That's where the road ends, and they want us to
Yes.
open that back up?
Yeah, so this highlighted portion is the area is the land that they bought. Right here where you can see it.
Right.
So this right here is where the gate is.
There's a gate there?
Yes, so, like I said, they brought it before the board, asked to close it, they never held a public hearing, but they put a gate up there, and this was 20 years ago, give or take.
You say they, you're assuming the county did or the landowner?
No, I'm
Landowners.
assuming the landowner
Okay,
did.
all right, we won't be clear on that.
Yeah, I'm assuming the landowner did.
Well, it does state that Charles Neely and Emmett Clark made the motion passing the board to table this request until a public hearing. So they did vote, but it looks like they never set a public hearing after that.
So who owns the land around the road?
Crawford Graydon does, or, I don't know that it's.
So he bought the whole tract of land.
Yes, they bought this whole tract of land. It was timber company land, and the guy that had come, from what I've read, the guy that had come and requested it was leasing the property from the timber company.
I just think we need to make it official to abandon the road.
I was gonna say, I think it's in the best interest of us taxpayers is, where that gate's at, from there out, we abandon it, deed the property back to them, and they can make it a private drive or do whatever they want with it. They're gonna spend the money to fix it anyhow. We
Isn't there,
don't have to maintain it in the future if they do develop it with all those homes going in and out.
isn't there a state ordinance for municipalities and counties, if you have not maintenance that road in X number of years, it becomes abandoned automatically?
No, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about, but yeah, but I have to pull that out.
Okay.
But it's generally, the standard is cease to be used for a public purpose, which
Right.
they're gonna have a hard time showing it's been used for a public purpose if it's had a gate across it. And then if Crawford owns it, it's real easy. They get the whole thing. You know, usually a lot of times, street, you gotta get one half, and
Right.
everything, so. And they don't have to pay for it.
So, this was just a discussion. I guess we can make an action out of this, right? If we want to, or do we want to bring it back at the next
If
meeting?
you wanna,
If
if
somebody-
you wanna officially abandon it, you gotta have a public hearing. If they can't prove that one was ever had.
But I
I'll make a
think,
motion. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, I think we need to dig a little bit more, because it sounds that there were thoughts of what should happen that really never took place. So
We
we
can look
need to
into
determine.
commissioner, we just ask if you table it to the April meeting, gives us sufficient time to look into it.
plus you have to advertise.
Well, it's either one or two things. Either it was abandoned
Right.
and we just gotta find documentation, or it's going to be abandoned.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
I mean, because we're not gonna go in and open it all back up, and spend taxpayers' money on that road for somebody else that bought all the land.
I make a motion to, table the discussion of reopening the portion of Meadows Boone Road till the April 7th, 2025 meeting.
I'll second it.
Oh,
All right, all in favor?
Thank you, Commissioners.
Motion passed. Okay, next item 6, consider a date for a work session.
Commissioners, I'm requesting the schedule of a work session for the Board of Commissioners to discuss and prioritize key projects for Meriwether County in 2025. This session will allow the board to review proposed initiatives, consider budgeting and funding needs, and identify potential challenges to ensure the county goals are met. As we prepare for the upcoming year, early discussions will help establish clear priorities and ensure projects are well planned and properly resourced. This work session will be valuable in aligning our efforts and setting a strong foundation for the year ahead. Staff suggests the following work session: Tuesday, March 25th at 4 PM before the 6 o'clock meeting, or Monday, April 7th at 4 PM before the 6 o'clock meeting, or whatever date is convenient for the board.
At what time?
4 PM.
4 p.m.
You think 2 hours is gonna be enough?
That's what I was gonna say, I was in favor of doing both of those. If
Yeah.
both meetings. So one at 4 PM,
That may be the
5th, and another one.
So you want 2 work sessions?
I think we have,
Yeah.
yeah, if they-
That'll
Because I
be-
agree,
Board agrees with that.
we get a lot done, but I think there's a lot to do. We need
Correct.
more than just one.
You know, we did a Saturday one time. It worked out really well.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
I'm glad it is.
I'm out.
I'm sorry. He's got things to do on Saturday, where he said that,
Me
really?
too.
No, if that's what we need to do, we'll do it.
Do it all on one Saturday.
What does the board think?
I think 2 dates would be great.
And those times work for you, 4 PM?
That worked.
Jimmy? Yeah. All right. So
When?
both dates at 4 PM, we'll do both
Before both the next meetings,
4 PM.
Sure. What's the date?
March the 25th and April 7th.
Tuesday, March 25th.
Oh, I won't be here April 7th.
You won't, you want to move that one to, what's the next one in April?
22nd,
Yeah. I gotta be out of town for work.
22nd, you done? What is
No,
The
that?
7th.
We move to the
We can
22nd.
do one Tuesday the 25th and then Tuesday, April 22nd.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, anybody want to make that in the motion?
So moved.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, Jennifer. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, our training is that week.
Oh, yes,
We'll be leaving out
22nd.
March
We'll be leaving
the,
23rd.
April, we're leaving on the 23rd, so.
so we're doing March the 25th at 4.
And April
And
22nd.
April 22nd at 4.
Okay.
Okay.
So we got a motion on the floor from the
Second.
commission, we get a second from, all right, all in favor? All right, that is passes. That was easy. 7, request to surplus 2 Kubota mowers from Public Works, 2008 Kubota ZD 28F-60P and a 2008 Kubota ZD 21 zero turn.
Commissioner, Public Works has 2 2008 Kubota mowers, both are zero turns that are wishing to surplus. Both mowers have been unused for at least 2 years and no longer needed for the county. Staff recommends surplusing both mowers and donating them to Talbot County. Talbot has provided assistance in the past with debris cleanup, and they are in need of parts off these mowers. If we were to sell these mowers, you're looking at very minimum.
I make a
dollar amount.
motion, we donate both 2008 Kubota mowers to Talbot County.
You need a surplus first, Commissioner Collins.
What?
You need to surplus the mowers
Oh,
first.
we got to, yeah, make a motion, so,
You can do it in one motion if you want to.
I make a motion to surplus to 2 Kubota mowers, 2008, and then I add to that motion, donate them to Talbot County.
okay. We have a
Second.
motion. And a second, all in favor?
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay. Next item is report from county administrator.
Very short and sweet. It's all department head positions are filled. Our new finance director, Jamie Tarleton, will start on next Monday, the 17th. The Public Works Director will start on March 24th. That's Brian Griffin out of Harris County. He was a Public Works Director over there. He's did in-house paving, so I'm looking forward to him coming on board here in Meriwether County. Recreation Director will start April 1st. Is Alan Forum. He's out of Bowden Recreation, in Bowden, Georgia. The courthouse assessment should be in by the end of the week. They just did the lead and mold testing last Thursday, and staff was researching Brown Gilbert Road. And there is a request that will be coming before the board for next meeting about a student wanting to do some filming at the covered bridge. I would have amended
Actually,
the
at the
agenda,
Red
but-
Oak Creek.
The Red Oak Creek Bridge, I'm sorry. I just got that request at 6 o'clock. If I'd have got it before, I would have amended the agenda.
Don't we have those applications in place for that?
Yeah, I think they do at the building and zoning. It was a unique request, a college student that is trying to do it for graduation at UGA. And I think he's basically wanting to film and go down in the water.
Yeah,
So
they just need to
that's-
understand if they utilize that bridge, if there are stipulations in place as to what can and cannot be done.
I don't think they were
Okay.
wanting to actually touch the bridge.
And that's why I explained to
The
Commissioner
creek.
Three that with it being the bridge, they need to understand liability issues and that's why it needs to come
His
before the
grandmother
board.
called me and she said he just wants to access the water and do some filming of the water. I don't even think he wants to do nothing with the bridge.
I
He
don't.
just wants to get the water. But I also noticed the other day that there's a lot of graffiti being written inside that bridge. We need to do something to stop that. If it anyway.
We have
possible.
cameras up down there, don't we?
Well, I had double checking. I think we removed them, but we're looking to put more cameras up.
The cameras that were down there had all failed, I've got to get new ones.
Yeah, we don't need them 30 feet up where they were. We need them inside the bridge too, capturing the outside plus inside.
I noticed the other day too, and if we had somebody with maintenance or public works on a weekly once someone sees graffiti all over, oh, cool, so it just explodes. But if we had somebody on a regular basis that went down and either some kind of close to brown paint or stain that match, and just kept brushing it out, then they would realize that, it would slow it down. It's
There's
a,
a graffiti remover that I've used before. I would have to check and see if it's safe for those timbers, but it worked fantastic when I used it.
We probably need to check with the Historical Bridge Society to make sure before we utilize any chemical on there. But if I'm not mistaken, there are trash cans down there for the little park benches and stuff where people can eat. And Public Works used to go down there on a weekly basis and take the trash, so they should be checking that when they're down there too.
I'll double check with Public Works.
well, the benches and all that was removed. Quickest Farms owns all that property, so the property, once you cross that bridge, it don't belong to the county at all. And remember, they had us pull the picnic tables out and we donated them to Lake Meriwether?
Yeah,
So the trash cans are probably gone too. It's not a public, our asphalt there, we turn around, we might have one there from us, for someone to throw trash in, but it's not a public park down, even though it's a historic bridge. But,
The graffiti used to come from the boats going under the bridge and they would paint as they were going by, but we haven't had it inside the bridge before.
the only time it's deep enough for a boat to go through is when it's flooding.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, you ain't taking no boat down through there.
I noticed it the last time I was there too.
I was there too.
There's black marks on the wood in the bridge, like somebody just sitting up there spinning the tires.
I know when I first started, there was a grant for that bridge, and we did not take advantage of that. So I'm gonna reach out and see if we can find out who that grant was through and see if we can reapply for it to restore the covered bridge.
Well, if we can get it covered up and even a sign out there that says, go ahead and write, because you're on camera, they're gonna be looking around for them.
I don't remember it being for the Red Oak. I remember somebody applying for a grant for the White Oak covered bridge that's no longer there.
It,
Like I said, it was when I first started, it was a covered bridge. I just was on the assumption it was a red hook.
it was something through, if I'm wrong, I will go back and correct myself, but it was something through the Natural Historic
Okay.
Society that we could apply for something, but I don't know that we did.
I just remember there was a discussion when I first came on board about a grant
Also,
for it.
look at closing that bridge between certain hours. It would deter a lot of that at that time of night when that activity would happen.
The staff would get cameras put up as quickly as we can. Sure, Mr.
Anything else
Brown.
from the county administrator?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Portland County Commissioners. Commissioner Snelson?
No, sir, I don't have any right now.
Commissioner King?
Not at all. Fortunately, this rain we're getting, it hasn't been too bad in washing out culvert pipes again, so we seem to be getting in the right direction. Maybe we'll start having some good dry weather and get other things in the county taken care of.
Is that all?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Collins?
I just want to thank the staff and all the employees for what they're doing for Meriwether County. And that's all I have.
Commissioner Threadgill?
I don't have anything additional. I think I've spoken enough.
I don't have much either, other than thank everyone for the hard work they do and look forward to seeing what we can get done with a full staff here in a few weeks. That'll be awesome. We have a report from the county attorney.
The only thing I have, commissioners, is if you recall, the Bond Diamond Kennels filed a lawsuit against you guys a while back. We had the trial 2 weeks ago, and the judge ruled in our favor.
Okay.
They have appeal rights, but for now, case thrown out.
Good job.
Thank you. That's all.
Do we have a need for executive session?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Personnel and real estate.
I would like to list the name all four, just in case.
Yeah, possible litigation. It's all four.
So, we'd like to have a motion to go in executive session.
For litigation, personnel, real estate, and tax matters, so moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? All right, we're in executive session at 6:55. Back in a regular session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Back in regular session at 7:39. There's no action taken in executive session. Any other business to come before the board?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? We are adjourned.